Hey YouTube, it's Now I'm Nappy and I'm back for another Tip Tuesday. Today I want to talk about why your hair is stuck at the same length and to finally unlock your hair's potential for maximum hair growth. Now this applies to women who are natural and applies to women who maybe relax their hair or have straight hair. All right, so let's first talk about growth rate and then how to unlock your hair potential. All right, so hair grows on average about ½ an inch every month. And for our genetics, we're predetermined. Our growth cycle is usually between 4 to 7 years. So on average, most people can grow about 24 to 42 inches of hair within 4 to 7 years time. All right, and of course, this ranges for people who have any type of hormonal changes or hormonal problems inside. So if you are experiencing maybe some type of hair shed or hair loss, I definitely recommend you check out some of the other videos I have about crown breakage and other issues and go to your doctor. But in this situation, we're not talking about anything that is medically wrong or with you, but we're talking about what you are doing wrong that's causing you to be stuck at this same length, okay? Let's go ahead and examine 5 things that you're doing that is causing your hair to be the same length and then how you can grow past it, okay? So the first way is that you're not consistent. Either you're not consistent with your regimen or you don't have a regimen. Now, a lot of people who are not consistent with their regimen think that they can forego wash day or forego moisturizing their hair when their hair is dry as a desert. It's screaming at you, please give me some moisture, please hydrate my hair. And you're like, I'm gonna go another day, another week, another this. And you're allowing your hair to become so dry and so brittle that it eventually does tend to break off, right? And if you do have a regimen, or if you don't have a regimen, you should have a regimen. And I have 2 videos about, they're actually 4 videos about how to build a regimen for either low porosity and high porosity hair, starting with wash day and all the way into moisturizing your hair. And so we should be doing that regimen regularly. So if you have it on your calendar for weekly, then you should be washing your hair every week, and then you should be moisturizing your hair Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever works in your schedule. And if you're not used to that, then write it on your calendar, set an alert in your phone. So right before bed, you go ahead and moisturize your hair and then put your scarf on and go to bed. Sticking to that consistently will help you get past that either shoulder length or mid back length type of hair, because your hair needs consistent care and your ends need consistent care, especially as your hair gets longer. All right. So the second thing that most people are not doing is you're not trimming, or you're not trimming enough, okay? So a lot of people, since we went natural, a lot of us natural girls, we went natural and we decided that we were gonna be our own hairstylist, which is totally fine. But we really need to examine how we are trimming our hair and how regularly we're doing so. Some of us are so scared of scissors that we just think, oh, I'll just dust a little off here and there and think that that's sufficient enough for your hair. And a lot of times we realize that we do a lot of damage to our hair from combing and styling hair regularly, and our ends are splitting. So we need to go ahead and trim those ends off. And I'm not talking about, again, just dusting or search and destroy. I'm talking about a full trim. And if you're scared or you're hesitant to do that, then go to a stylist or go to someone that you trust to trim your hair the right way. Now, I trim every start of the season, so 4 times a year, and I put my hair into twists, and then I go ahead and trim off about 1 inch or so, but according to however my hair looks and feels. Now, the trimming actually helps to remove any of those single strand knots that form at the end of the hair that, you know, when you're detangling your hair during wash day and sometimes just ripping through those ends, that causes more breakage. That causes your hair to remain at the same length. Because as soon as it grows, it breaks off during that detangling wash day process. And it breaks off sometimes more than the inch or ½ an inch that you may be trimming from your hair had you just had the trim. So again, go ahead and set a consistent schedule for trimming. And again, not just trimming, not just dusting, but trimming very regularly, okay? If you have any questions about trimming and scheduling about that, I will also link up my video how I trim in my twist up here. I think it's on this side for you guys, okay? All right, now the third thing that you're doing is probably what we're all doing, is over manipulating our hair. All right, so I cannot stress enough. If you want your hair to grow past that shoulder length or that mid back length barrier, put your hair away and leave it alone. Less is more in this situation, okay? The less you style your hair, the less you comb your hair, the less you manipulate your hair, the more your hair will retain that length because it's not constantly being handled. So just because you're leaving it alone doesn't mean that you shouldn't be moisturizing it, because I'm always a big fan of telling people to, you know, protective style your hair. But protective styling means to take care of your hair while being put away, and to cleanse your scalp and keep your scalp clean from too much dirt and too much buildup, okay? So I always recommend that this is what I do for me that works very well for me. On wash day, I wash my hair, I moisturize it, I put it right into twists. And I try to leave those twists in for the entire week. And then either Saturday or Sunday, I'll undo my twists and enjoy my twist out. During the week, I will moisturize my hair either daily in the wintertime or every other day in the wintertime, or every other day if it's like warm out, if I'm using glycerin heavy products and my hair is being moisturized from the environment. So definitely protect your hair, put it away, and moisturize it. And protective styling is not just putting your hair into twists or putting your hair into braids. It really means to keep those ends wrapped up and protected, okay? There's protection when the ends are bunched together, right? So when you put those twists, that helps to keep them protected and keep them happy, okay? Because the ends are the oldest part of your hair, so that's the part you really want to focus on when you are protecting your hair, okay? And right now, you guys know I do love twists. I'm wearing right now this current U-part wig style with twists underneath. A lot of people think when they wear wigs, they have to do that like tight braiding beehive style. I'm not really a fan of braids because I find that it breaks my hair off a lot. So, and not just any type of braids, I mean cornrow type of braids. I prefer twists and then pinning them up and then putting on your wig or wig cap or whatever. But again, make sure you're moisturizing your hair underneath your wigs or within whatever protective style you're wearing, okay? All right, and the fourth way in which you could be hindering your hair from its full growth potential is that you are too rough with your hair. I can't tell you how many times I go into my Facebook hair groups, I see them and they're combing their hair while their hair is dry and knotted. And that is so rough and so damaging to our hair. And I think a lot of times what happens is we got so used to combing our hair when we were relaxed or when we have straight hair, we think we can continue those same exact practices with our natural hair, and we can't do that, okay? So if you are going to be combing your hair, it should be gentle. You need to be very gentle with our hair, especially our ends. Our ends are the oldest part of your hair. And if you're not gentle with them, you're never gonna retain any length because your hair is gonna continue to grow, right? But you'll never retain the length at the ends, and that will just continually cause you to be the same length over and over and over again. So I recommend to try either detangling gently in the shower. I'm definitely a big fan of beginning with finger detangling. I know some people with high porosity hair may prefer detangling outside the shower with moisturized hair, and slowly again, starting at the bottom or at the ends of your hair, very gently working your way up. You want to think of your hair as something that's very fragile, okay? And the longer your hair is, the more fragile those ends are. And if you don't protect them or you don't be gentle with them, you'll lose them and you'll constantly be stuck at the same length. So gentle detangling practices, gentle combing practices, and gentle styling practices, okay? So the fifth way I'm gonna share with you guys is that you are not taking care to have the proper protein and moisture balance in your hair. Now, I'm gonna start with protein first because I cannot stress enough how many times I hear so many naturals say, oh, my hair is protein sensitive, my hair hates protein, I don't wanna use protein. And your hair might be sensitive to certain proteins, right? But for the majority of us naturals, for the majority of us, our hair is not protein sensitive. And you may find that to be like, oh, I don't think that that's true, but your hair may not like large proteins, but your hair may need smaller proteins, okay? And I'll have a list of those large versus small proteins on my blog. If you wanna go check that out, I have a video on protein and moisture if you're curious about that. I'll also link that up above here, like how to retain moisture. And I explain the difference between large proteins and small proteins. Because if you guys remember when I did my porosity series, right, I talked about porosity being on a scale, right, from low to normal to high. And we acknowledge the fact that those who are in the normal to high range can get away with medium to large type of size proteins. Those who are in the low porosity are going to be the ones who need the smaller type of proteins. And I would say even those from like normal to midway low can get away with a decent amount of protein in your regimen. Those who are on the low end are the ones that are going to need the least amount of protein. But the thing is, our hair is made of protein. And when we style it and when we comb it and when we maybe heat with it or we do chemicals with it, we're stripping away at the bonds in our hair, destroying our hair, causing them to become weak and fragile, especially our ends, again, because they are the oldest part of your hair. If you think about it, if your hair is 3 years old, those ends are 3 years, 36 months old. They are weak and fragile and they need protein, okay? I do know some naturals who prefer to actually focus protein treatments mainly on their ends of their hair. They kind of think of their hair, working their hair into two sections, right? You have your top part of your hair that is maybe a year old to 2 years old, and then the bottom part of your hair is 2 to 3 years old. So some people take care to be more gentle, to use more protein, to use more moisture on the bottom half of their hair, right? To think of this as the second portion of their hair that needs more love, more things, because the cuticles of your hair, once they're gone, all right? And so protecting them with protein helps to seal the hair and to help lock moisture in and to keep your hair as strong as possible before it eventually breaks off, okay? And then I'm gonna go right along into moisture because y'all, we know if you are not moisturizing your hair and your ends especially, your hair will just continue to break off. And not only will you maybe stay at shoulder length, you may actually lose and break off more hair eventually back to ear length or back to another length. Moisturizing your hair with regularly with either the LCO, LOC method, or whatever method works best for your hair porosity. Deep conditioning your hair weekly or regularly. These are things that should be important, and part of the number one I say a lot of people are missing is that consistency in their regimen and having that protein moisture balance that allows your hair to thrive at its maximum potential. And my bonus tip that I want to give to you guys is to incorporate Ayurveda into your regimen, because Ayurveda really helped me to get over my growth hump, right? I was stuck at about bra strapping for a while, and once I started to incorporate my herbs into my regimen, some of my favorite herbs that I've been doing for years, you guys, have been henna, then fenugreek, cassia, amla. Those herbs are great for stimulating hair growth, helping to strengthen your hair strands, and just protect them over time. And herbs really help me to, I think, protect my hair and to lock moisture in. And it taught me the importance also of moisturizing your hair after you do certain processes. So like a lot of people complain about henna being very drying. So, I talk about doing a henna gloss, adding moisture to your regimen. And for the first time, I think in my life, I had hydrated hair, moisturized hair. And I was like mind blown, like, why didn't I learn about this before? And that really changed how my hair is and also how fast my hair grows. I'll do some link check pictures for you guys. As you guys can see in some of my other videos, when I be putting in the products, my hair is no longer in frame. It's definitely growing and thriving with Ayurveda, and I couldn't in this video without putting that in there. Also the fact that, you guys, I am also now selling my own Ayurvedic hair oil. It is a stimulating hair oil that works to help stimulate blood circulation into your hair follicles, to nourish them, to help any of those dead follicles potentially reactivate again if you're not past that point. Again, we had talked about in my previous video, like if you have certain types of alopecia, that once you reach a certain point, there is no coming back. But if you're not at that point yet, I definitely recommend trying this hair growth oil. It is very stimulating. It's very good. Even for me, I noticed that I'm starting to have little new hairs growing up, sprouting in my hair from regular use of it. And that's amazing. So definitely try that out. I'll leave the link down below for you guys. And that's it for this week's Tip Tuesday. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. Don't forget to check out the blog for other information regarding how to unlock your hair growth potential. And how about you share a tip down below that helped you overcome a hair growth plateau? All right, I'll see you in the comment section. Bye.